Welcome to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And Coach, Tigers had a huge game on Saturday afternoon against the Stags of Fairfield, a team ranked 15th in the country. They came in knowing that if they beat you, they most likely were going to win the CAA championship. You knew if you beat them, you definitely would win the CAA regular season championship. And congratulations, it went your way as the Tigers come up with the big victory over the Stags.
Yeah, thanks, Spiro. Appreciate it. I thought the team was pretty focused all week. They did a good job, continuing to prepare, very focused, good energy. And I thought that the game it started, especially through that first half, how we thought it would, right? Both teams, playing very good lacrosse. At this point in the season, knew it was going to be a battle. It surely was. We were able to find enough in that second half to kind of get that separation. So I was really proud of our guys.
You knew going into the game their goalkeeper had numbers that were as good as anybody in the country, but you were able to beat him several times. What was it that went behind that?
Again, guys just working hard offensively to find good shots. Chop got pretty physical on a couple shots, and he's a big guy, so I think it's hard to read with the ball coming out of his stick. A couple nice transition opportunities. So we scored in different ways. It catches a goalie maybe off guard at times. Again, I thought we did a good job continuing to share the ball, continuing to play team offense to generate some good shots.
And then a huge goal, 4 seconds into the second half. Matt Constantinides wins the face-off, heads straight down and scores his first goal of the year. He came up big for you on Saturday.
Yeah, anytime you can say his name, I'm sure you want to throw it in there. But yeah, that was a great 1-goal lead going into halftime, coming out to stretch it to 2 right away. Big energy lift. Matt's been hasn't scored as much as he has last year. A lot of teams focusing on him, but I thought it was actually a really neat play because he had gotten a fast break before. They slide off of Mikey, throws it to Mikey, goal. He gets one there in the second half to open it up. They hold on Mikey. He reads it and sends one home. So again, a really, really nice read by Matt. Good veteran play there, and obviously helped us get that advantage.
And Mikey, co-player of the week on offense, and Joe Petro, the defensive player of the week in the CAA. He had a tremendous ball game for you.
Yeah, Joe was picking off passes left and right, stick off the ground, doing a good job defensively. Keeping everybody together. Really, really excited for Joe, playing well there. Mikey, another, again, strong performance and getting goals in different ways. Again, a couple broken plays, transition, things like that. As I said, looking back on the game and kind of coming right off the sideline as well as watching the film, I thought it was a pretty steady game for us. I thought we played pretty smart lacrosse with our energy and efficiency. Obviously, a few mistakes here and there for sure. But I thought we had a pretty good understanding of what we wanted to do, and we did it pretty well.
The other thing you've done is we've seen the third midfield a lot more the last few weeks than we had earlier in the season. What's behind that?
Well, those are guys that were second midfield guys. You got Vienny and Boswell and those types of guys that have played for us. We want to keep those guys in the mix. They've earned that opportunity. See if they can give us some depth throughout the season here. The second midfield has been a little bit of a mixed group, recently, and so again, just making sure guys are getting reps, guys are showing us what they can do, and continue to have that team, team concept.
Also, fresh legs against a defense that could be tiring.
Yeah, no, everything can be a positive for sure. So seeing how it plays.
All right, so the Tigers win the regular season championship, which means May 1st and May 3rd at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Semifinals for you will be Thursday, May 1st at 4 o'clock. But you have a game left. And you hate to say this, but the game really, the 4 teams that are in the tournament are locked in. Mm-hmm. And so Hofstra isn't fighting for a playoff spot in the tournament. You've already clinched the number 1 seed. How do you go into this game on Saturday?
We continue to prepare the way we have all season, continue to focus on what we need to do to be successful, cleaning up things that we have going on, preparing for Hofstra and the systems that they use and the people that they have. So, again, nothing changes on our end. We continue to attack every day, continue to prepare, continue to put ourselves, hopefully, in position to earn a win.
And for the 3rd straight week in a row, you're going against a goalie who's played well. 54% save percentage, and they've got 5 guys that have scored 20 or more goals. So they're not like a 1 or 2 man show. They can score from all areas.
Yeah, very strong offensive group, a group that loves to get shots off, and they can stretch you. I mean, they're not afraid to pull up from 17, and let it fly, and they can make you respect that, as well as get goals around the doorstep. And then the goalie absolutely has been doing a really good job. Good defensive group around him as well, but he's been playing I think pretty steady so far.
You haven't lost a conference game in over 2 years. Do you think about that going into this game Saturday, that you can, for 2 years in a row, go undefeated in regular season play in the CAA?
I hadn't crossed my mind since you brought it up. So.
Well, now that's all you're going to think about, right?
Not at all. Next game up.
And then you've got a quick turnaround because you're going to play on Thursday next week. Does that go into consideration on how you use your guys this Saturday?
I don't think. I mean, our guys want to get on the field and compete and play and earn a win. Obviously it's still a conference game. We're going to approach it just like that and be able to get out there and compete.
So, any surprises to you in the CAA this year?
I mean, Delaware, right? They returned a lot, and being able to, not get into the tournament was a little surprising. Not surprised at all at Fairfield after how they finished last year, with kind of a bitter loss in that semifinal to where they are now, for sure. Monmouth, continuing to show how they continue to improve, right? Having a double overtime win against Delaware to kind of knock Delaware out of the mix. So, but no, you've seen the CAA. You watch as much of these guys as I do. It's a battle. Everybody's really good. Everybody has an opportunity. There's chemistry. There's injuries. There's different things that unfold throughout the year. You just got to be able to play the best, at the right time.
Well, for the second year in a row, the Tigers are playing better than anybody in the CAA, now number 15 in the country. Congratulations on that, back in the top 20. I'm sure your players probably enjoy that more than you do.
I'm sure they do.
You really could care less.
I really had no idea.
All right, so that'll do it. I'll have the game for you for, Saturday from Long Island, 4 o'clock on TowsonTigers.com. For the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of the Tiger Men's Lacrosse Report.